Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, or evening, depending on when and where you are. This is Noor Layla. Welcome to Wattpad Wednesday number 3. Today, I'm discussing my story, Intertwined Fates, which you can find on Wattpad.com. I'll leave a link in the description below. For anyone who's watching this video because they enjoyed the story, thank you so much! The story is inspired by the Indian drama serial Is Pyar Ko Kya Naam Dun, Season 1. Like thousands of other people, I was swept away by the romance between Khushi and Arnav. However, there were a few things about the story that irked. For example, the plot twist where Garima turned out to be the woman that Arnav's father had an affair with. I'm not against the twist, but I thought it was weird how there were no signs of it until Arnav's daddy came into the picture. Garima showed no discomfort when Payal was getting married to Raizada, nor did she ever indicate that she had some deep, dark secret in her past. In addition, I was really bothered by how Akash and Payal's story progressed. Up until they got married, and even for a while after, they were fine. But when Sham's truth was revealed and Akash turned against Payal, I really didn't like it. Furthermore, I didn't think it fit in with Akash's nature. I felt like this was a ploy to create conflict, and to me, it felt awkward and unnatural. Finally, I had a huge problem with the scene towards the end of the show. Here, Arnav and Khushi were having an argument about Arav, where Khushi was rightfully saying that Arnav would spoil him, and in response, Arnav basically taunts her and implies that she can't handle herself. I'm sorry, what? I was really offended on Khushi's behalf after that scene. Anyway, with all these things on my mind, a story started forming. What if the affair was a factor from the beginning? What if Payal and Khushi were more confident? What if their lives didn't revolve around their husbands and they had careers and dreams of their own? I had this framework in my mind for months. Then one day, while I was riding the bus home, I took out a scrap paper and scribbled what I thought would be the final scene. In this scene, Anjali was sitting and staring out the window on a rainy day. She had a premonition because she knew something was going to happen, but she didn't know what and she was dreading it. Then the doorbell rings, and Anjali knows that what she was waiting for has arrived. But the scene didn't work. I didn't know where to go from there. So I left it alone thinking that, like countless other stories, it would remain unfinished inside my head, until I eventually forgot about it. But it wasn't to be. A few weeks later, again on the bus, I took out a notepad and started again. This time, the story opened with Khushi's perspective. And that was how Intertwined Fates began. Shout out to @JollyJabin who asked most of the questions. Her first question was who my favorite character to write is. If I have to pick, probably Arnav. I love him because he takes himself so seriously, but underneath the surface, he has all these insecurities and emotions that he can't even admit to himself. Especially now that he and Khushi are getting closer, I find him adorable. I love how much in denial he is, and how he's so terrified of anyone finding out that he cares for her. That's where the whole recurring spiel comes from. It's because of Arav, Anjali, Payal, everyone under the sun, but not because I like you. Jolly Jabin also asked if any aspect of the story related to my personal life. No, my life is boring. I'm boring. Kidding! In terms of relating to my personal life, Boaji is a character that draws heavy inspiration from the older women in my life. You know, sweet and caring and meaning well, but also simultaneously a source of constant pressure because they're always warning you to be cautious and not to step out of line. And always worrying about marriage. In addition, I also get inspired by the news or by dramas that I watch. For instance, Vikram Ahmed was based on the character Imtiaz from the Pakistani drama Udari. By the way, 10 out of 10 would recommend that to anyone who's interested in dramas about social problems. And finally, she asked a question relating to when Boaji gave Khushi an ultimatum, either leave the case or leave the house. What would I do in that situation? So, Khushi by nature is a little bit confrontational. She's not afraid to fight or to tell someone off. I'm the opposite. I'm terrified of confrontations. When my parents or another authority figure tell me to do something, I do it. For me, dealing with someone's anger isn't worth it. So if Boji told me to drop the case, I'd probably drop it. Moving on. We have another question from Divyalitha9. In reference to the orphanage girls, why did Hushi say she sees herself in the victims? Well, because Hushi is an orphan, and if Garima hadn't taken her in, Hushi may very well be in that same position. This statement will also make more sense when I talk more about Hushi's journey, post Garima's death and before becoming a lawyer. But there's still some more time before we get to that. Finally, I have to respond to a common request from my readers. Update more frequently. I would love to. Ideally, I would update twice a week like I did when I first started posting. The problem is that I don't have enough pre-written chapters. Currently, I'm only about 2 chapters ahead of what I've posted. I'd rather post with regularity than just post whenever I have a chapter done. And the reason is because following a schedule gives me a sense of a deadline. If I don't have a deadline, I know I will end up procrastinating and then the story will never finish. Nevertheless, I'm trying my best to write as much as I can during this quarantine and hopefully, if I get enough done, I will start posting bi-weekly again. I'd like to end this video on a token of appreciation. Thank you to those of you who read this story. That you take time out of your day to read my words, it's amazing. Thank you to those who vote. There is an insecure part of me that whenever I upload, always wonders if this chapter was good enough, if the story is still interesting, if I'm doing right by my characters. When you click on that star, you're telling that part of me to shut up. I'm doing fine. And finally, thank you to those who comment. Your comments really keep me going. The short, quick ones that tell me that I'm doing a good job, the long ones that analyze everything that happened in the chapter, the ones that make predictions and try to guess what's coming, the ones that compliment my writing style, and the ones where you reveal bits and pieces about yourself. I love them all. Thank you. With that, I'll end this video. Any other questions you have, please leave on the story or in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye! Take care!